We want to shift now to Washington, D.C., where Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is speaking, announcing his state-of-the-art air traffic control infrastructure plan at the Department of Transportation. Now, this comes after we've seen numerous delays and cancellations at one of the country's busiest airports, as Newark Airport. They've seen a lot of problems there. Again, air traffic has been a point of concern for months now. Let's take a listen in to this press conference.
Work. And T&I Democrats will be ready to stand with you, Sean, to improve the safety of U.S. aviation. Thank you very much for having me here. Appreciate it.
As these two gentlemen who sit on different sides of the aisle would acknowledge, this is not politics. This is America. It's an American mission, and I am pleased to introduce someone who I got to know way better than I would have. Well, I would have liked to get to know you well, but we spent a lot of time together, and I don't think we've had a better head of the NTSB than Jennifer Hamady, who's looking out for safety, giving ideas on how we can make our system safer across all modes. And so I'm pleased that she's here with us today. Chair of the NTSB, Jennifer Hamady.
Well, thank you very much. I have to say that the Secretary's commitment to safety is real. He started saying that this is bold, but I have to tell you it is absolutely necessary to ensure safety in our skies. So I do want to thank you, Secretary, for inviting me here today. I also want to thank members of Congress, certainly the families. Thank you for being here, and again, our thoughts and prayers are with each of you and many others, our partners in safety. Without your commitment to aviation safety and support of the NTSB, we couldn't do what we do every single day. Certainly all of you are champions for safety, and I see many of you out here today, so thank you for what you do. The NTSB, as you know, can't mandate change. We can't mandate change. We can only make recommendations to improve safety. That's why we need strong partnerships, strong relationships with committed safety partners. That includes the President of the United States, President Trump, Vice President Vance, who I had the honor to work with after a terrible train derailment and tragedy in East Palestine, Ohio. I saw his commitment to safety up front and personal, and I want to thank him and certainly the Secretary and the hardworking men and women here at the Department of Transportation and at the FAA. Now, there's a question I'm often asked, and that's what keeps you up at night? The answer is always the same. It's the next family I'll meet who've lost a loved one on what I can only imagine is the worst day of their lives. And it's the conversations that I have with our investigators on scene about how that tragedy could have, should have been prevented had one of our safety recommendations been implemented. The NTSB has safety recommendations to invest in ATC going back almost 3 decades that we've had to reiterate again and again, most recently following the near misses at JFK and Austin. In Austin alone, and I didn't tell this to the Secretary, he wasn't here yet, we had our final investigative board meeting last June on Austin. We had found that the weather personnel in the tower were in a room that was the old smoking room. They had no windows. The weather personnel had no windows, no cell phone service. They had to go outside to move their cell phone to get service, and they had no access to the internet or FAA intranet that they had been asking for over a year. And ATC didn't have ASDX. All of that is just, to us, unbelievable and unacceptable. In February, I traveled to Alaska following a fatal accident near Nome. I met with pilots who highlighted ongoing safety concerns, including repeated outages of AWAS that sometimes go months without a fix, and gaps in pilot reporting of poor weather, which is something that we're looking into as part of that investigation. And as chairwoman, I've continuously highlighted the need for real infrastructure investments in ATC and in technology that will give our nation's air traffic controllers the tools they need to ensure safety in our skies. I welcome today's announcement. The fact is, an aging system poses an untenable risk to safety. I said it after DCA. I'm going to say it now. An untenable risk to safety. And I am hopeful that the vital investments that we're talking about today will not only bring us closer to implementing NTSB's safety recommendations, but achieving our ultimate goal of zero aviation deaths. It's a goal I know that all of us share. No one entity, though, can do it alone. To save lives, it'll take every single stakeholder at all levels doing their part. And lastly, I think it's important that we recognize this is Public Service Recognition Week. So I want to thank the public servants who keep the national airspace operational 24/7, including over 14,000 hardworking air traffic controllers, 14,000 today, but thanks to Secretary Duffy, growing. So I hope that will be even more in the future. So it's an honor to fight alongside each of you to improve safety, and thank you for this opportunity to join you today.
Jennifer Mohammadi, she's a great partner. Again, I think she lives, breathes, sleeps safety, and she has been a partner who has been fantastic for all of us, so thank you for that. Now, listen, as I mentioned, we have 55 stakeholders, groups that are here today, again, from different philosophies, different walks of life, but this group that believes that this mission is critical, that it's good for them, good for Americans, good for America, and this coalition would not have come together the way it has without the Airlines for America President and CEO Nick Callio. Nick, if you would come on up and talk to our group. Nick has been a force to be reckoned with. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. It is truly an honor to be here. Thank the families for being here. Sorry for your loss. Anyway, Airlines for America is the trade association for all the major passenger and cargo carriers in this country. The fact that 5 of our carrier CEOs are here today is a testament to the historic magnitude of what's being undertaken. This is an exciting day for all of us in this industry. I want to thank Secretary Duffy for presenting a plan that begins to address a decades-long problem and the manner in which he's attempting to do it, because we've seen failure in the past. This one will not. It's been pointed out air travel is the safest mode of transportation in this country. No question about it. But for it to remain that way, we need major investments now and all at once. We can't kick the can down the road again. We need to do it now, and that's what's being proposed. Back in February, President Trump vowed that we're going to have the best system. So thank you, President Trump and Secretary Duffy, for delivering solutions, not just more talk. Solutions. Promises made, promises kept. Okay, so I've been holding up floppy disks and paper strips for about 9 years now. And I wasn't going to bring them, but yesterday the Secretary encouraged me to bring them along, so here they are. People can never believe this. But here's the good news. What's happening here today is going to put these things out of business for good. we are deeply appreciative of your bold leadership, and I was going to address Chairman Graves and Ranking Member Larson, Senator Cruz, and Senator Moran, all of whom are stalwart aviation supporters. I do want to deliver a message to us. What Chairman Graves did in that committee to get that $12.5 billion was remarkable. He's a results getter, and I was going to encourage Senators Cruz and Moran that they need to expand on that work and find more money. But we've been saying that to them already. We continue to. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's to finally get something done to stop the deterioration of our airspace system. That's why today, and the Secretary alluded to it, we're announcing a new coalition, the Modern Skies Coalition, which is comprised of over 50 organizations of all types: airports, manufacturers, labor, general aviation, airlines, commercial space, and others. We've never seen anything bring this level of unity to that community since I've been around, and much longer. And the reason is because everybody wants to seize on this opportunity. As the Secretary pointed out, this group often has our differences, but we're glued together here. We are laser focused on making this proposal a reality, and we're going to work together to bring a spotlight on it. The coalition has already released its statement as of a short time ago. There will be, I believe, a reference to a website that I think you'll find extremely informative. So in conclusion, I want to say that earlier this week, the Secretary said, we all fly, our families fly, so let's get it done. We could not agree with you more. I have 4 grandchildren with a 5th on the way, and I want them to grow up with the same confidence in the system that we have all been able to have. So thank you very much. Thank you.
So Nick makes a good point, and this is it's kind of funny, but it's not funny at all. Again, the controllers pass these strips of paper from one to the next as they're passing off control of an aircraft. This should be digitized. A lot of kids don't know what these are. They're floppy disks, but they don't know, like, what's a floppy disk? Quick note, when systems go down in the equipment that you see up here, we don't call the manufacturer to buy replacement parts for this equipment. Do you know where we go? eBay. We shop on eBay to replace parts to fix our equipment in the system that keeps you safe, keeps your family safe. And to Nick's point, that is 100% unacceptable, especially for the greatest country that's ever existed on the face of the earth. We deserve better than that. And Nick, again, I'm so grateful for your leadership, putting this coalition together of people who are going to rally around this effort. It's now my honor to bring up the people that we maybe not know the people, but we know their companies very, very well because we fly on them, sometimes once a year. Some of you fly probably once a week. But I'd like to welcome up to the stage the United CEO, Scott Kirby, American Airlines CEO, Robert Isom, Delta CEO, Ed Bastian, JetBlue CEO, Joanna Garrity, and Southwest CEO, Bob Jordan. All of them are ferocious competitors. They compete on a daily basis, flight-by-flight basis. They all compete against each other. And they're all here today because they share one mission, that they want to make sure our skies are safe. And so with that, Scott, if I can turn over to you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. To the families, we're honored that you would join us here today. And thank you, everyone else. This really is an historic day, a day I have been looking forward to my entire career, when I felt like we have turned the corner and are on the path to give the United States the best-in-class air traffic control system that the citizens of the United States deserve. But I'm going to take some of my time today to also, I want to thank all of the people in the entire aviation profession who keep us safe right now. Everyone at the air traffic controllers, everyone that works at the FAA, every pilot that works for all of us, every flight attendant, every aircraft technician, all the people that work on the ground. This is an industry that has safety in its core, at its core, and in its DNA. Every single person, the hundreds of thousands of people that work in aviation, believe in safety and put it first. And that's what makes aviation. Even though we sometimes have to deal with these systems, we build backups and backups to backups. What happened in Newark this week was a perfect example. Disappointing that it happened, but when it did, the backup systems kick in place and everyone does what they're supposed to do to keep the airspace still safe. It creates diversions, it creates delays, it creates disruptions for customers, and that's what we want to solve. But we do the people of aviation do an amazing job keeping the system safe. So I mostly today want to say thank you to all the people that keep us safe and keep our families safe, and also on their behalf say thank you to the Secretary for giving them the systems and the support that they may need to make the system the best in the world and even safer. I think it's now up to me to introduce my friend, co-worker, partner for many years, now competitor, the CEO of American Airlines, Robert Isom.
Thanks, Scott. It's an honor to be here. And it's a truly historic day. And I'd like to, as well, start with recognizing the families of 5342. We mourn with you, and we're going to be with you now and for the long run. We've established the Office of Continued Care and Outreach to support you, and you have my commitment that we will be with you over the long run. This accident should never have happened. I thank you for being here because it is using this moment to really do great things going forward. I've been in the airline business a long time, and that entire time I've known that the U.S. air traffic control system was operating on antiquated technology. And this plan from President Trump and Secretary Duffy is absolutely the best opportunity that we've had in decades to do something about our outdated air traffic control infrastructure and build a best-in-class system that our country deserves. And it will make aviation more safe and also much more capable for this critical aspect of infrastructure long into the future. I commend President Trump and Secretary Duffy, the entire FAA leadership. They've treated airspace challenges with the urgency that it requires right now. We're taking quick and decisive action, and that's not just with this plan, but it's also in the wake of 5342 to address helicopter traffic in DCA and throughout the country as well. So American operates more flights, employs more people than any other airline. And our network, our customers, our team members, and all of us in this industry, we need a more robust and modern air traffic control system to get people where they want to go safely and on time. This plan will result in a better, safe, more efficient system for everyone involved. Travelers, the airlines, workers, the FAA, everyone. And that's why the entire airline industry, travel industries, all of our partners have coalesced and to get behind this effort. We stand ready to work with the President, Secretary Duffy, the FAA, our allies on Capitol Hill to get this plan, to get this program across the finish line. So thank you very much. Thanks, Scott. And Ed, I'll hand it off to you.
Well, thank you, Robert, and I'd like to thank you. I want to especially thank Secretary Duffy and the administration for gathering us all here today and taking such a strong approach to overhauling our air traffic control system in the U.S. This has been a long time in coming, decades, in fact. I'd also like to pay my thanks to the families for being here. It means a lot to us that you are joining us on this endeavor. Delta is celebrating our 100th year this year, and while we as an airline continue our century-long legacy of innovation, dedication, and excellence, that has not been the case when it comes to our nation's air traffic control systems. This week, you've all seen the fallout from the situation at Newark Airport, but we all know this kind of disruption due to a lack of controllers and an antiquated system is something we all face on a regular basis. Just 2 years ago, you may all remember in January of 23, there was a NOTAM outage, which caused the first nationwide ground stop since September 11th. And during that time, at Delta, we had to cancel nearly 150 flights, affecting thousands of our loyal customers. ATC facilities overseeing our LaGuardia and JFK hubs have over the years experienced material equipment faults and failures and staffing challenges. To this day, we are not able to fly the schedule that we'd like or that our customers expect. As a result, last month alone, Delta's delay minutes due to FAA staffing were up 106% year over year. Over the past decade, Delta has invested billions of dollars in our LaGuardia and JFK hubs. LaGuardia has since gone from the worst airport in the country to one of the absolute best. But the ongoing ATC constraints in the New York airspace continue to hold us back operationally. Airlines plan their network and schedules based on customer needs and the assumption of FAA equipment running correctly. It's disruptive when outages and equipment failures occur without notice, as only a few minutes of downtime can ripple into a large-scale customer impact event. Nothing is more important than safety. Absolutely nothing. And while we regularly work with ATC and our industry partners to help find solutions to minimize delays and cancellations, particularly in the New York airspace, we'll never compromise on safety or operate into airspace or airports unless they're absolutely safe to do so. If that means reducing capacity in and out of certain areas or taking down flights, that's what we'll continue to have to do. None of this serves the traveling public in the way we'd like. It's hard to believe, and frankly unacceptable, that many of the systems our air traffic controllers rely on today are more than 60 years old. It's past time that we change that. So it's an honor to be here today among so many of our industry partners while getting a first look at what the Secretary has put forward. Fixing our antiquated air traffic control systems while working to get more controllers into the pipeline is a unique and once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the aviation industry, for Congress and this administration to come together and take our country's national airspace to new heights through investment and innovation. And I'm proud to be a part of it. Thank you. And with that, I'd like to introduce Joanna Garrity, the CEO of JetBlue.
Thank you, Secretary Duffy and FAA Administrator Ruccolo, for your hard work bringing us all to this point. I also want to recognize the families. Thank you for being here. It should not take a tragedy to solve this problem. We very much appreciate the leadership that you are bringing to this ATC modernization effort. As the only airline that is headquartered and based in New York City, we know air traffic control delays and challenges far, far too well. This has quite literally been our #1 priority for decades. I am proud to stand here today with what appears to be a solution and a path to move forward. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. JetBlue is here to do our part. Let's get this done.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bob Jordan with Southwest Airlines, and I also want to say a huge thanks to the families. I know it takes courage to be here, and we're going to get this done for you. I commit to that. But you've heard from a lot of folks, so I will be brief. And as you can tell by the unprecedented groundswell of support here, there is widespread agreement that we have a problem, that we have a need, and that we need to find a solution. I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that's here today. It's wonderful that there's such a cross-section of the aviation industry and our partners to support this very needed change. We have folks from across the industry. We have manufacturers. We have our labor folks, SWAPA, the IAM, TWU, IBT. I've just never seen this level of coming together to address a problem, and it's very gratifying. For the airlines, I can assure you that we compete very vigorously, but we do not compete on safety. We have the world's safest aviation system, the world's safest, and we need to keep it that way, but we also need to have the world's most efficient and modern air traffic control system. You deserve that, and the American people deserve that. Last, I just cannot thank you enough cannot say enough thanks to Secretary Duffy, to the administration, to President Trump for the stellar leadership to bring everyone together on this problem. This challenge is decades old, as you can tell by the equipment in front of us, but I'm absolutely confident that we can get this done and that we are finally going to address the real problem. It will take all of us. It'll take the money. It'll take the effort. It'll take a lot of will to get this done, but we will and we can get it done, and we will do it for the American people. Thank you all very much.